Do you ever deal with severe introversion? Like high introverted syndrome? That's kind of what I've been dealing with this week. I'm just super camera shy. It's taken me literally like the day before I wanted to get this video out to get around to filming it. So ultimately, I have tried to make this a low-key setup and definitely done better than perfect. Also, if you hear like any bell sounds in the background, the Makerspace Cat kit has a little ball with a bell inside it, and she is having the time of her life today. So I've got my drink and we're gonna chat. So something a little bit different today. I'm not really gonna do a tutorial, but I'm gonna talk a little bit about what I've been up to the past 2 weeks and just kind of chat a little chat and chill while I, talk about what I'm doing. If you want to put me on in the background while you're doing a craft and listen, feel free. If this isn't your cup of tea, then you're welcome to click off and come back when I do a tutorial. So earlier this week, I happened to have the opportunity to see the total solar eclipse that occurred on Monday, which if you're in the US, unless you've been living under a rock, are probably familiar with the total solar eclipse that extended all the way from Texas up until Maine. And I was fortunate enough to actually live in the path of totality. So I literally just had to step out my door and see the total eclipse. And I've never seen a total eclipse, and I don't know if you as a viewer have, but it is one of the most breathtaking things I have ever seen. Absolutely gorgeous. And then on top of that, at least where we were during the solar eclipse, there were actually these 2 red spots on the bottom of it. And it turns out those were actually solar flares that were occurring during the time of the eclipse when it was passing over us. So solar flares happen all the time. Like, we have some satellite cameras pointed against the sun. We monitor them because sometimes if we get really big ones, they can cause some disruption with our satellites, get blasted by that radiation. A little bit problematic, but they occur all the time. However, it's kind of rare to actually get a solar flare to occur to see a solar flare during a solar eclipse. And we had not 1, but 2 that were actually visible at that time. That was pretty cool. Really very inspiring moment. Absolutely beautiful. And we were so fortunate because where I live, the weather is very finicky. One day, I swear, one day it can be 70 degrees and the next day it's 17, especially in the springtime and the fall. More so in the spring, it's like it wreaks havoc on my patients with COPD. I can always tell when spring's coming because I get this influx of my COPD exacerbations for admission at the hospital, and they're like, I don't know what happened. I'm like, yeah, Mother Nature. I'm right there with you. I prepped to go outside for the eclipse by, allergy drops, Flonase, took my Zyrtec. So, and we literally had cloudy and rainy, cloudy and rainy, cloudy and rainy day of the eclipse, 72 and clear. Following day, cloudy and rainy, like 97% cloud cover. I'm like, I don't know whether it was a combination of prayers and voodoo sacrifices, but either way, where I lived, we got beautiful weather for the eclipse. All right, so you're probably a little more interested in what I've been working on craft-wise over this week and the week prior. So let me show you what I've been working on. So the past couple of weeks, I have been working on creating something new for my shop, working on a new design and such. And it got inspired by the sort of cute desktop accessories that, have gotten popular, namely desktop accessories for your iPhone. One of the things I notice is that people are kind of interested in a way to sort of set their phone somewhere where you can charge it and it's sort of there, but it's in the background. And Apple has even kind of, gone so far as to play around with this a little bit, and that they're actually widget settings that will come alive if you use one of their MagSafe chargers. So if you're not familiar with a MagSafe charger, it is a wireless charger that has a magnet feature. So see, magnetized, kind of like if you have an Apple Watch, same idea. And when you have it in, this one isn't obviously connected, when you have it in landscape mode, it will actually display some larger widgets so that it almost looks like a desktop clock, or you can kind of show your music that you're playing. I think there's probably some other apps that have it as, sort of distraction-free kind of settings, if you will. And I've seen a few cute little like holders for the MagSafe charger so that it's, propped up at the right angle and it looks nice on the desk. One of which kind of being more of a circular function. I know, what else have I seen? Maisie Lee from Cozy Lee Studios has the ZenSafe charger, which is really very cool. And she actually 3D prints that as well, makes it from home. And she inspired me a little bit to kind of think about this and to how to create my own design. And I have spent a few weeks doing that. And you might have seen some of my YouTube shorts where I was kind of, showing what I was working on and things like that. And I ended up coming up with a sort of a collection that I have called the Elements. So I would like to show you what I've been working on. So this was the first one that was created. This is the water MagSafe charger. It's got this lovely wave pattern, sort of inspired by more Japanese painting style, as well as it's got a slightly more modern touch to it. So this is the wave pattern. It's very nice. This is done in a really pretty pastel ice blue, and it's designed with the MagSafe charger to go in here. There's a spot for it to come out, the cord here. It is hollow. The inside, this one does not have it. I have actually modified these a little bit to have a magnet set inside here so that it'll help keep the MagSafe charger in place a little better. It stays in place, but it will pop out a little bit when you're pulling your phone, so I made that modification. But it's just this really simple design. As you can see, it really printed beautifully. I ended up tweaking the settings a lot to create just this really nice, soft, smooth look. So let me show you a little bit how these work. It's pretty easy. You just take your MagSafe charger, stick it in the hole, and yes, the first time I made this and printed this, the hole was not big enough for the end of Apple's MagSafe charger. Like, you think, oh, it'll fit the cord, it's this big. Nope. Gotta remember, this part, 4 times this big. This is why you have to make many iterations of things. Also, this is why I was really happy to find the lightning infill setting in 3D printing, which basically just kind of prints infill where it needs it, support-wise, results in much, much faster prints and very lightweight prints. You waste very little material. For instance, the final models of these weigh about 112 grams, about 4 ounces. So enough weight that it's sturdy enough on your desk. You're not worried about it, really tipping over or anything. It's going to hold the product. And that, of course, doesn't include, the magnet and the MagSafe charger. So it's probably closer to 5 ounces by the end. But with the lightning infill, I'm pretty sure I cut like another 1.5 ounces off of the weight. So nice little feature when you're trying to create prototypes. So, but anyway, so you basically slip it in, it snaps in place, just like that. So you can see why I obviously put the magnet in the back. Here, let me put this in place to help to show you. There we go. So yeah, it holds the magnet, or the magnet helps hold it in place a little bit. And then you can just stick your phone right on there. Or sideways. Works just fine. Works with Apple's design, no problem. It's not tested on other MagSafe charger, like off-brand MagSafe charger, so I don't know if the dimensions will work for it. It is approved for the Apple version. I will, when I go to put them for sale, leave the dimensions of the MagSafe charger in place, so you can always check and see if yours works. And it's, completely compatible with the iPhone and the camera, so it's not in the way whatsoever. But yeah, so I'm really excited about this design. I think it's really pretty. So, but let me show you the others. And then the next element I have is that I designed was fire. So this is flames. It's got sort of a lovely fire pattern on it. And then I have air, which is so pretty. This is very cute. I really like this one a lot, and I might even consider taking this one and doing some other things with it, because I'll show you why in a minute. But let me finish. And then the last one in the series is mountains. So as you can see here, I have this mountain pattern as well as sort of these rounded hills. So that's the 4 models of the series that I've got. The elements: fire, air, earth, water. So you might be curious, what kind of inspired doing that? Well, I really wanted something cute to add to my desktop, and I had just kind of gotten a new cute little mat, and I wanted some inspiration, and I actually ended up taking the mat and sort of creating a multicolored design of this, which I have sitting here, and I'll show you guys. That is this one here. And I know, holy cow, that is cool looking. It's got cherry blossom trees on it. It has, you know, grass. You've got even like a little street. And did this turn out really cool? For the most part, I need to play around a little bit with the purge settings. The downside about black is you just have to purge and purge and purge. So unfortunately, I've got a lot of sort of color streaking into the sky. So this is not a perfect, as well as I did not go in and do the iterative smoothing that you can do in Bamboo, which helps to create these really smooth surfaces on the globes. So it's not quite as smooth near the top. And on top of it, this was like my first round of the design, so it's actually not hollow inside. So this is definitely a much heavier model, almost unnecessarily heavy and, you know, wasted material. This also took this took over 2 days to print, because each of these layers has multiple colors and it has to print each color, which means it has to purge in between. Was this worth it? I mean, oh my God, it's beautiful. It was a long print. I mean, I don't think I've ever printed anything that's taken me 2.5 days when I factor in, you know, troubleshooting and having to deal with, like, you know, poop backup and all of that. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure it's worth it, because I mean, it is pretty, but there's that part of me that's like, there has to be an easier way. And yes, I could certainly like paint this. I mean, I have played around a little bit with painting some of the models. In fact, I printed miniature versions of my little thing, which, oh my God, half scale. It's just so cute. I mean, seriously, like, it's little binnies. I'm sorry, I like dollhouse syndrome. It's tempting, yeah. So anyway, the minis, and then I painted them, but part of the challenge is my hands just shake too much to do like really fine detail painting. Can be very, very frustrating. Yeah, I suppose masking tape would possibly be an option, but it would take a lot of time. So, and I think the monocolor ones are really nice. But that being said, I did do a dual color, two color model of these, and I was really happy with 3 out of 4 of the designs. They still take quite a while, but they are quite cool. Like, some are going to take less time than others. For instance, this was the 2-color model that I did on the ocean one. And this one actually, because of the way the design is, doesn't have a ton of layers where it's having to go back and forth, as you can see, because, I mean, it's like, you know, it's the darker blue up to this point. Then you have just really the small area where you're purging back and forth, and then the rest is in the pretty ice blue. And this sort of tone-on-tone color with like the regular Polylite and the Polyterra, honestly, I think is really pretty. And I might even consider selling this one, because the time on this one wasn't too bad, and the material purge wasn't too bad, partly because with it being as tone on tone, I didn't have to purge very much at all, so that worked really good. Another one I thought that turned out really beautiful is this one. This is the flames model. I did the red, and this is the bronze, I believe. I know, I'm kind of surprised. It looks very copper, but it's actually the bronze from Polymaker. This is just, I mean, this is just so gorgeous. I absolutely love how this turned out. But to print one of these, it takes close to 23 hours. And I actually printed 2 of them at once because I was going to give one to my dad, who's retiring as a firefighter this week. And I kid you not, literally, like, we're talking 10-15 minutes to spare. There was a spaghetti error on the other one, and I lost it. And yeah. That being said, not complaining. This is gorgeous. But again, it takes a long time. The Air one I did in white. And this one, I really like how it turned out. You know, it's just very simple. And I wonder almost what this would look like if this was in, like, you know, pink or in blue. Because the clouds that I got, you know, designed have a very kawaii feel. This one wasn't too bad as well in terms of, like, purge issues. That, again, the white to the yellow wasn't too bad. The only one that I was not happy with, the way it turned out, was my earth one. I don't like this color, so that's kind of my escapade. I have played around again with trying to paint them, but again, I just kind of struggle with that because my hands shake. I just, you know, grip can be an issue depending on the day. But I do think, honestly, the tone on these just single tone models are really very beautiful, and they're very simple looking. I think they'll look nice on people's desks. I might consider offering maybe special edition versions of the Air and the Water, especially since they don't take quite as long. You know, those are still pretty. I mean, the Fire one is gorgeous, and, you know, I'm absolutely happy with that, but to sell this, I feel like I would have to really raise the price, and I don't necessarily think that's fair. I mean, tell me in the comments if you guys are like, this is beautiful and you would love to see this for sale and, you know, think it would justify a high price, let me know. You know, I want this to be something efficient, but still something high quality. That's why I definitely was playing around with infill to make these a little heavier, not, you know, super lightweight. I want these to be able to sit on your desk, which I don't have a spot. I want these to be able to sit on your desk and feel sturdy. At the moment they're 4 ounces. I could potentially raise them a little more, but I feel like these are, you know, a good quality print. And I do know that I could make additional designs in the future. In fact, I plan to make additional designs in the future because it was kind of fun to create these. Not a straightforward process, but when I figured out how to use the lithopane generator online to get this image to project around a globe, and it even, like, corrected for, like, you know, the shape of the globe and how things change on the top. I think the entire neighborhood could hear me when I got it figured out. So I'm going to be posting these on both my website and my Etsy store. Perhaps maybe the addition of these to my Etsy shop will revive sales a little bit, because really the last 2 months has just been, like, non-existent sales-wise. And I mean, I do this for fun, but at the same time, it would be nice to earn a little bit of money. And it's a little frustrating when it's like, you know, nothing gets seen and nothing gets sold. You know, there's that level of, well, am I doing something wrong? And, you know, some people are like, oh, make more, you know, put more listings up. That's what they want. And it's like, but then there are shops that only have, like, you know, 10, 12 items and do pretty well. So I don't necessarily want to do that. And I don't just want to try and create, you know, mass listings of print on demand things. That's not how we're going to do it. But from what I've seen on the internet, Etsy is kind of being a pain in the butt across the board for everybody. So hopefully they won't have any issues with these listings, because the downside is, of course, is these are MagSafe chargers, and I'm sure MagSafe is a trademark term, but I'm not saying, oh, I'm selling you like a MagSafe charger. Like, I'm not taking advantage of that copyright, but how else am I supposed to describe this item? It is a charger designed for the MagSafe attachment. And I mean, looking around a little bit online, it's like, you know, if you're referencing something, it's okay, you know, as long as you're not, like, trying to say this is endorsed by the company and such. So I definitely think I'll put in a, you know, Apple is not affiliated with this product, you know, but it fits their MagSafe charger. So, and I think hopefully it will be okay and the copyright gods won't come after me, but who knows? So I think that's pretty much it for me, guys. I hope this sort of, talk, chat, and chill worked for you guys today. If not, well, come back for additional content later. In the meantime, have a crafty day. I'll see you later. Bye.